Hello everybody, Big Planes here. Now before I get too deep into this video, I want to give a shout out to my patrons over on Patreon. So thank you to everybody over on Patreon who helps to support the channel. It really means a lot to me, and it's one of the reasons why I'm able to build these awesome airplanes. So I will leave a link in the description below if you want to go help support the channel over on Patreon. So I have made some pretty good progress on the tail of the Air Force One 747 today. Well, it's technically VC-25, but we'll just call it a 747 because that's pretty much what it is. I have made some pretty good progress, but first I want to sort of talk about the follow-up video to the COPPA video. Now, I've seen a lot of videos going around lately about, oh, this is the end of my channel, and they're going to come after me with $42,000 and blah, blah, blah. And I want to sort of follow up my first video really quickly here about that, and I don't want to say people are overreacting, but people are overreacting. Just calm down, people, okay? Just wait and see. There's going to be lawsuits. This may even be deemed unconstitutional. There's a lot of things that still need to happen. The way they're going to enforce it is going to be interesting, and there will be lawsuits. I don't want to be one of them, but there will be lots of lawsuits, and just calm down, people. Quit freaking out. But let's talk about the Air Force One, because that's the reason why you clicked on this video, and I know that's what you want to see, so we're going to talk about it. And like I said, the main goal of this plane is to try to solve as many problems from my earlier planes as I can, and I'm trying to make this one primarily sturdier and more accurate, but primarily sturdier. So I'm going to come around this side and show you something. If we come around over here, you can see that this was obviously something I added in a while ago, right? The air stairs. Well, I had built the entire tail and then somehow negated the fact that there are air stairs back there too, or a interior entrance hatch, or whatever you want to call them. So you can see right there, it's kind of hard to lean over, right there. I had to cut out an entire hole. Now, remember what I said about this taking all the weight right here in this area? About that's where all the stress is? Well, just imagine that, but now I just had to cut a giant hole into the structural support beams. Yeah, that's basically what just happened. And we figured it out. That leads, again, this is sort of an awkward angle because I'm sort of leaning over the 787 here, or 727. But that actually does lead into the press area. That's where the press would be, because this is like the president's area, the White House up here, and back of there, that's where the press would be. So I did get that worked out. It was very difficult because it basically compromises the structure, and I was able to get it so the structure is still quite sturdy, and yeah, it worked out. Hopefully that doesn't crumble because there's a big hole in the fuselage now. And the reason that this isn't here is because I have yet ordered the parts. I'm waiting for the parts to get here. I didn't have enough parts to build a second one, but when those parts arrive, I'll basically just clone this, but this will be in gray, and then I'll just put it back there. So there will be two of these things, one for the press and one for sort of the lower class people, if you will, and then one back here for the president and the staff and stuff. So that's what's been going on there. I also did some more work to the interior back in the press area, but I'm not going to show you that because that's for the final video. But this thing right here, what you're looking at, is finally the tail appendage, whatever, how you pronounce that. But you can see here that I'm trying something a little different. This time around, I always screw this up every time, but I can never get that's horrible lighting. I can never get the tapering correct. You can see here that it sort of tapers all the way up. I never get that right. So what we always end up with is the back of the tail being too fat. And I'm going to try to not have that this time. And what always seems to happen too is that the walls here always seem to start sagging, as you may have noticed in some of my older planes, and this 747 before. These always sag. And these are not designed to hold weight. These are only designed to look good. So what's actually going to be holding weight is this goes back to weight transfer, but this thing right here is what's holding the weight. This will be holding the horizontal stabilizer and the vertical stabilizer and trying to keep this whole thing from sagging. So you can see it's a pretty big size beam that just is running down there. And like I said, it's all about weight transfer, because if the stress has nowhere to go, it's going to go straight into this, and it's going to start warping and sagging, which is bad. So this comes straight here, and it's obviously, this is not done. It's not done. So this comes here, the stress transfers through here, it comes to here, and then this gets transferred to, I'm going to try to show you this again, all the way back here. That gets transferred to this beam right here, and that goes straight into the rest of the airplane, and that's how that all works. Hopefully this will work. And you can see here that, I'm going to back up a little, there's pretty much no warp at all whatsoever in the fuselage. You can kind of look down that way. There's like no warp at all, which is absolutely great, because usually by this point there's warp, which is not a good sign, but there's none. It's pretty solid. And you can see when I press back here, it's pretty sturdy. I'm gonna back up. It's not breaking. And what usually starts sagging first is the landing gear, which is what it was designed to do, because the landing gear is what's supposed to take all the weight, not the fuselage. So again, a lot of more complicated things going on with this one, but hopefully we're getting near the end of this one. Now, I know once I'm done with this, you're not going to see the final video, because I still need to send these parts up here, like to get this transition, and down here, and the big United States of America right here, and you know, all that stuff. I have to send all that out away to get printed, so that will probably take a couple months after this is finished. I know, I mean, maybe we can get it done a little faster, but the guy that prints it usually isn't very fast. So that basically means I will get started on Concorde probably within 1 or 2 months. So be looking out for that. But that's all I really have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. A lot of good progress on the tail. I know it's not the most progress we've ever seen, but it works. So that's all I really have for this one. Hopefully within the next couple weeks I can be pretty much done. Now, like I said, I may run into some roadblocks, but hopefully we can be pretty much done here with the next couple weeks with this one. So that's all I really have for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and bye for now.